Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. Now, listen, this sumbitch right here is badass, son. Straight up, all bullshit aside, this thing is a phenomenal knife. This is the Huntsman. It was designed by Gabe over at Last Huntsman Outdoors. I'll make sure there's a link in the description to him. It's his design. If you'll remember, we just did the prototype about a month or two ago, and I'll put the link to that video in the description as well. Here's the deal. This knife was made by a very good knife company. They make a very good knife. I mean, they make a damn good knife. The deal is this. The prototype was excellent. It was well done. I enjoyed it. Really did. No shade that way. The guy did a phenomenal job, right? It's amazing to me when you take a design that's good, and this is a good design. It's a solid outdoorsy design. The execution, though, makes this knife, there's no comparison to the prototype. And again, no shade. Very good knife company, took the assignment, understood the assignment, and I believe made Gabe's idea come to life. Now, here's the deal. I'll tag a very good knife company. I will tag Last Huntsman Outdoors. Watch this right here. It took a minute. That's the paper, not the knife, by the way. This has been the worst batch of paper I've ever had in my life, and I'm not even kidding. I'd love to tell you it was. People say, oh, it's got a burr. No, it don't have a burr. All that paper got humid and it buckled. But here's the thing. We're going to do a lot to show the sharpness. Back to a very good knife company. Man, they just did an amazing job. Watch right here. Bip, there's no burr, son. Now we're going to do two pieces at once. Look how lean old Scabber's looking. Lean thinned out there, son. About to blow away. Listen, a very good knife company. It's out of Cleveland, Georgia. Gabe, the Last Huntsman, has a great YouTube channel. Check him out. Now, when I'm done with this, I'm sending it to my boy, Jacob Peterson. Awesome guy, awesome channel. All these guys, I will link in the description. But let's talk about the knife. The blade stock is 80 CRV2. Is 3/16 inches thick with an HRC of 60. The overall length is 12.5. The blade length is 6 3/4. The cutting edge is 6.5. The blade width is 2 inches. The handle is 5.5 inches. The inner grip is 4 1/4. The handle thickness is 5/8, and I pulled a measurement on the palm swell. I believe it's 1 1/4, but I'm going to show you that at the end. This knife is a catch-all. It's a do-all. It's just a phenomenally done knife from the design to the execution. We did some of it at work. You see me cut the ratchet straps. I wanted to focus a little bit more on the build. We talked about the design the last video, and I'll tag that video and catch it because, of course, I'm in it, and it's phenomenal. But it'll give you a good look at the prototype and then this knife, which is dropping August 23rd. Now, Gabe, if you would, put in the details, what time the drop is, where it is. I believe it's going to be at a very good knife company, but put those details in. I'll pin your comment. That is that thick, heavy gauge extension cord. Son, it cut right. This thing is sharp, super sharp. And if you got a sharp knife, how many times do I have to say it? You're in the fight, right? Even if it's not physically, if you're in a survival situation, or if you're in a camping situation, if you're just having a good time, if you're hunting, fishing, whatever, a sharp knife makes life easy. Those micarta handle scales just kind of melt into your hand. Now, here's the truth. I went over to Kirk's, went over to our studio. I'm going to do a little chopping, but Kirk jumped in at the end and took out, we needed to move a couple of small trees. It's his property. We're moving them anyway. He jumps in and does some chopping. He's in love with this thing. It's well balanced. It's well done. And it's got a 90-degree spine. I should have struck a ferro rod with it. I did not. There's a couple more things I could have done. And this is a knife that I will probably wind up getting. Now, I say wind up getting because here's the truth. You know, people have asked me, well, Scab, why don't you get it? Here's why. And being honest. Right now, we got so many knives coming in that I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. And this is a knife I want to spend more time with. I want to spend more time on, and I want to show you more about because it's just, it really works. And when you get a knife that works, you can't beat it. Very, very well executed. I know I keep saying that, but I'm blown away by how good this knife is. Kirk, who is believe me, is far from as, loving as I am, as positive as I am. He's the other end of the spectrum. He fell in love with this knife. Now, throughout the thing, I did some batoning. I just wanted to show you a lot of different demonstrations. You see a lot of them in my videos. I didn't do anything out of the way. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just wanted to put the knife through its paces, give you guys a good look, and to be truthful with you guys, just to be 100%, this is a knife that's easy to use. And listen, I sandblasted all day today. 100-degree heat. Why am I bringing that up? Because I'm wore out. I'm fatigued. And I'm glad I did that before I did this review, right? Sometimes with a review, Scabber will get excited and I'll just blow through things. I'll power through things. A lot of times, if I'm being honest, it's me. Today I was wore out. I was fatigued. The knife had to pull its weight, and man, it performed exceptionally well. What does that tell me? It tells me it would be phenomenal if I was going on a long hike. It tells me it would be phenomenal in the all-important, ever-important survival situation that everybody dreams of being in. I've never seen a group of people that almost want to die daily so they can be in a survival situation. The thing that I like about the knife is this. I'm the world's worst batoner, by the way. Put quotation marks there. The thing I like about the knife is this. It's easy to use. It's sharp, yes, but it's well built. There was no chips. There was no roll. See, y'all see what I'm talking about. There was no chips, no rolling, none of that. It held its edge very, very well. It just was a joy to use. There's no impact in the hands there. There's no hot spots on the handle. And that comes from both of us, both Kirk and I, both using it today out at the studio. It gives us a really, really good look at the knife, and it gives me another opinion on the knife, right? And just like I said yesterday, I'm not going to just leave in the good stuff. I'm not going to leave in the stuff where I look exceptionally well doing something. If I screw something up, I'm going to leave it in. I want you to get the total experience. I want you to watch the knife in every situation. A lot of times it gets left out, guys, and I'm not afraid to admit it. There are a lot of times, a lot of reviewers can make a knife look a lot better. The flip side of that is they can make one look worse, depending on skill set. I'm learning as we go. I do the best I can, but it's important for me, especially on a knife like this, that is this good. It's important for me to show you everything. I could have cut some of that batoning out. Now, this is another one where you're like, Scab, what are you doing? I'm holding the log. It's about 3 inches in diameter, holding the log and chopping. And it's hard as a brick bat, son, but I wanted to do it this way. I didn't want to secure it. I wanted to be a little bit out of position. I wanted to be a little bit fatigued, and I wanted just to hammer down on it. And that's what I did. Kirk kept volunteering to hold it. I wanted the experience of chopping with it moving all over the place. I was as careful as I could be. Great bites. The first few bites, I don't know if you noticed, it stuck. The knife stuck. It bit that well. Phenomenal little chopper, and Kirk's going to demonstrate that more. But there's no shock in the hands. The handle scale stayed on. No slippage there. There was no slip in the stabbing. No slip in any of that. Just really, really melted in my hand, and I enjoyed that. And it took a little longer than I wanted to right here. I'll be the first to tell you. But again, I'm glad it did. I was tired. I was fatigued. I wanted the knife to work, and the knife did work, and the knife does work. Super, super excited about this knife, man. A very good knife company crushed this build and crushed the design. That's what happens when a great design meets great execution. You're looking at it right here. Seriously, it allows a guy that's tired with an iffy skill set to use it and use it well. And no matter how hard you swing it or how light, you get really, really good bites. Now we're going to do some batoning. And again, this wood is just hard as a brick bat, but I thought it was important to do this. Now, what I'm going to do is clean the knife up, strop it down real good, do a little honing on it, get it ready, and I'll probably ship it out to Jacob this weekend. Matter of fact, I know I'm going to, if not Thursday afternoon, get it in the mail to him, get it on the way. so he can maybe get another review out before August 23rd. That's when it's dropping. And guys, if you need a good camp knife, I'm telling you, and I don't normally say that, but I'm telling you, this one I truly believe is worth the money. Now, I don't know the MSRP on it. I haven't looked. I don't typically look, but I'm telling you, I enjoyed this knife. Guys, let me do my causes real quick, and then I'll bring you some finishing thoughts. There was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere, right? We're getting close to the middle of the week, and at the weekend, the number goes up. It'll get up around 29 to 30, anywhere 35, somewhere in there. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. And on that note, guys, I shouted out Arizona EDC. Make sure you go over and check him out. His dad makes shadow boxes for fallen veterans for free. Please go to Arizona EDC, subscribe, and check out what they got going on over there. Guys, I back the blue. It's not popular. I get it. I'm not here to be popular. I have my own reasons. I'm not going to argue with you, and I'm not going to try to shove it down your throat. I know people don't agree with that, and I'm okay with that. I do. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Now, Kirk's he removed the one little limb, and we're going to have to come back and clean a lot of this up. We'll take an axe and cut them out, actually, or I might try to rent a little stump grinder and get out there. This is where part of our campground's going to be, and actually what I'm doing here at the studio is we're going to make this part in here kind of a bushcraft shelter area, so this stuff has to come out. But I wanted you to focus on Kirk using the knife. He absolutely fell in love with it, and if you'll notice, Kirk is actually ambidextrous with the chopping. I'm somewhat limited in my chopping. I'm severely right-hand dominant. But Kirk here, he's mixing it up, and that's just from a lifetime of being in the woods. Kirk does survey, he does wetlands, he's in the swamp 24/7. So he knows how to use the knife, and he knows the importance of using correct technique. That's why I like showing Kirk as well, to give you a couple of different things. You get me trying to blow it out, and you get Kirk using technique. Now here I just wanted to show you the sharpness. After the chopping, after the batoning, after everything we put this thing through, I wanted you to show it still sharp as shit. That old 8-up ratchet strap right there has been laying in the dirt. Knife had 0 problems. And you can see right here, a little bit of the edge is gone, but some stropping and a little honing will bring that straight back. The point of this particular demonstration is absolutely not to go, ooh, it's still razor sharp. This knife is super sharp. Trust me when I'm telling you, it could go through 3 or 4 or 5, 6 more campouts. I promise you that. But I like showing you where we're at. We open the video with it. We close the video with it. Here, I'm just going to show you the measurement once I figure out how to do it on camera, and it took me a minute. See that palm swell? I believe that's about 1 3/4, I think. I probably should have double checked that. But it just contours to your hand, and I love the blade shape. And Kirk had a phenomenal point. This is a blade shape that you could go longer or shorter, and it works. But the handle is spectacular. Gabe, man, phenomenal job. A very good knife company. You killed it just like you always did. But remember this, I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son.